Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my first I Spy Invitational match. I'm pretty stoked about this. I see a lot of people in chat. Joining with me is in the commentary booth is Iwin.
Hey
Hello.
guys.
And we also have Amazon here on the left. Say hi.
Hello.
And Maljack is also here with us.
Hello. There's an in-game command that you can do to locate things. One of those things being buried treasures. As you guys can see on the screen already, they found the buried treasure at the start, but there is another buried treasure on this map somewhere that I don't think either of them will find without chunk base, because when you do the locate command, it shows the closest one, and this one's a little bit further away. However, it's on the route to get into the nether. So got you. And it looked like both runners didn't really take a look at the village, and I assume that's because with buried treasures, especially in the scouting route where you don't need the treasure map to find it, they're really, really overpowered in the sense that they have all the iron you usually need. Most of them have extra gold, which we see there, a diamond, and food. So once you get that, realistically, the only visit to the village might be for beds. But even then, if you know the trades ahead of time, which you guys' data pack allows, they'll probably go in, make the trades, and calculate if they're going to get enough string, and then decide whether or not they're going to need to go to the village or not. As far as the bastions go, from what I have in my notes, there's housing. The housing seems like the optimal choice in this one. Treasure's available, but most of the spawns into the nether don't lead to treasure optimally, and pretty much all of the overworld entry points lead to housing. Also, it's worth noting that both of the runners, I spoke to them before the match, prefer housing. Only less than stables, a good stables, that is.
And yeah, as the time winds down, they will immediately go into the running phase.
In my opinion, what we'll probably see, and this is not to knock Maljack,
Yeah.
but I think we might see a 2-0 here, unless Ham makes mistakes, which obviously mistakes are very, very detrimental. Anything past, I think anything past 10 minutes, a death or a reset on past 10 minutes, potentially is like you can't recover from it, especially with a 20-minute limitation. And so we see Ham going Bastion first and actually taking a death, and that actually is really, really not good. He's not going to reset the world. He'll get back. His stuff will be there. A time loss of maybe like a minute and a half. But what I was going to say was we see him going Bastion first because I think he's planning on pearl hanging, hitting the fortress, then going back to the Bastion. And then we see Maljack going fortress first because he's planning on blinding at a similar spot, right? So yeah, we'll see how the spawn rates work as far as with similar drop rates or identical drop rates. But Maljack picking up. I think he's at 4 now.
Amazon
He is going to a 3-eye. So
dying
did
again,
oh
suffocating in the
wow.
wall. Yeah, Amazon taking multiple deaths, and Maljack seems to be out of the fortress just fine. A little strange that usually you would expect the Soul Sand Valley fortress with no shield to be a much more risky play, but
Yeah,
Maljack looks
agreed.
fine.
Yeah, and I have in my notes as well that I said that the stables is probably the obvious route. Um, but I also wrote that treasure had 11 obsidian in just the top chest alone.
Yeah.
So the difference being that obviously if you went stables and you wanted to find your obby and didn't get trades, you'd go through and have to go through all the chests in stables, whereas you just have to open one chest in the treasure. So that's probably why and it actually, even given the death, he's pretty on pace with Maljack. Just needs to get his drops, and that's dependent on spawns, not drop. We've seen a lot of times where they're on their set thing, but they're standing on the wrong side of the portal, or they're just not in the right spot, and they end up not where they want to be. But not the case for Ham, as he portals directly into the portal room.
Very nice. Very nice. And it was a 3-eye. It was a 3-eye. A lot of 116 RSG are always just going to go set up your perch, pearl away, and sit on the ground north south. But in tournament, that is almost assuredly not the correct play for the best average. And so we see, yep, there we go. Amazon shooting down crystals with the crossbow. I love the strategy. I think both of these players may have consider this, and I think that may be both of their end fight strategies is to do boner.
Like you said, a lot of runners will just go for the high roll because they're used to doing world record thing, and he's out of food and out of health, and there's no way he can finish this fight now. So, unfortunately for him, he's gonna have to he has time to take a death reset here and get back, but it's gonna be really, really, really bad for him considering that that Maljack is just gathering food and heading toward his set as well.
A little too punishing, and yeah, I'm not. I think you just gotta do a quick death reset. Unless he's
Yeah, he
got
should have
some
been able to go
weird
back by now.
plan
But
where he's not going to
Maljack's
take any
portaling in
damage.
as well now, so he'll.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what Ham's plan is here, but so he's actually just trying to clear out all. Oh, this is actually smarter than what I've said. He's clearing out all the crystals, and he's just gonna go for the normal kill. He's gonna crossbow the dragon, and he's gonna
Wow.
just go ahead and just try to get the kill. And actually, it's gonna make a really fun race because now we see Maljack coming in, guys. I know I'm a little bit ahead, so I'm gonna try to hold off on that. But we could actually see a really fun race where
Oh
basically
my
Maljack just waiting
gosh.
for a perch race, and we're watching Amazon just take him down like classic style, like your very first time you ever ran through Minecraft, and you come in and you're just like, I'm just gonna bow him to death. Dang it. It's so hard because I'm ahead.
I know.
Yo,
Yeah, Maljack's
Maljack
going.
Maljack hit the anchor, but it didn't reset the dragon high enough.
Oh
And then when he put the bed down,
no.
it broke the bed. So now we're just gonna basically see Amazon limping across the finish line uh, as he's already broken all of the crystals. And unfortunately for Maljack, that means that he has to either break all the crystals as well, but his bow is pretty damaged, or reset. So it's like, and he's not even being able to hit the dragon at this point. The dragon's at a little awkward of an angle, but
So we could see Amazon here. It looks like that's a quarter. I think he could actually do this.
and he gets it, and it's actually an axe race down to Amazon. It gets a sub 16.
Oh my god. Well, his timer was late, so it'll be a sub
Oh, I'm
18 or
sorry, sub
something.
18.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot I was looking at his. That's actually so fun to watch. That was so cool to see.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good little tiny break. I think we're ready to get right into it.
And what we should see is a locate command for buried treasure, I would think. But it looks like neither of them are, which is actually probably a best case scenario for them because again, there are 2 buried treasures here, and the one that they actually want to find will probably be the entry point in which I believe both of them will do. And that is a ruined portal that's across the lake. So if they go up and they're looking for an entry point above ground, the only thing they're really going to see is the ruined portal. There's no lava lakes that I could find above ground. As I said earlier, the entry point in this map is probably going to be the ruined portal, and we're seeing Maljack complete that. What we didn't see was him check the shipwreck or for anything around it. So to your merit now, he'll probably grab those emeralds, head to the village, get his food that way that you spoke about.
And looks to be a pretty clean nether. Bastion looks like a fairly obvious housing close by to a fortress. What did you scout out for this nether?
Yeah, so for the nether, I think that housing is just, it's a given on this one. I have that there is stables. Is this one with stables double?
It looks like
I was
there's 2 very close.
So yeah, I have housing and treasure. So
Okay.
housing, I put housing as the most obvious bastion because of all of the spawn points from the overworld either spawn you above or below it.
Yeah, here we go. Starting with the village on Maljack's side.
All right, chat, we are into the second match. Obviously, Amazon taking the first match in a close race with axe battles at the end. Half a heart finishing the dragon off after destroying the crystals. So has a little bit of the lead, both running into the village right off the bat and making stone tools. So I actually disagree with this play again, mostly because you know what you're going to get. And so you know that you're going to get enough iron to go into the nether. You don't really need to make stone tools, and you can just go in and make either an iron axe when you get in there while you're trading, or there's so many more options than making stone tools.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I mean, Amazon, and one of the advantages of Taiga villages is you're pretty reliably going to get a crafting table and free wood in those chests. Amazon just punching wood normally. Maljack crafting a crafting table when there's a crafting table in a house right next to him. So a little bit of inefficiency in Taiga villages here.
Going in right now in the top of housing for Maljack will be a huge advantage for him. But like I said, he is doing he did get spawned in the bottom of housing, had to make the bridge, and he is doing manhunt strats. And Maljack spawned in top, so he's doing I believe top down at this point. He's already down in there, right? So leaving at a similar pace, but Maljack ahead. But I think that it will be fairly easy for Ham to close the gap if he gets obviously favorable spawns, and really good pearl from him landing on the edge to just basically take the lead right there.
Both looking like they're doing a frontside blaze bed on an open spawner, which I like. I really love the fishing rod and offhand play. I think it's difficult because you have to use some string away from like a bed or maybe a bow and arrow. It takes away the string count from that, but honestly, fishing rod and offhand is very valuable in these where you have an open spawner. You hit a blaze one thing away and then you fishing rod it back and then you hit it again and you always get those rods.
Pretty risky to do that if you don't have the fire res active. So
Yeah, and Maljack
Uh,
exiting first. A little surprised to
yeah,
see that. It looks like his Blaze fight went a little bit faster. And yeah, portaling on top, digging straight down.
as I say that,
Is
oh,
he?
he didn't get the perch. It
It's
was
very
baited a little.
close.
He's baited a little bit.
And Amazon
But
does get it.
Amazon
Yeah.
did. Yep. And as I predicted, not in the way that I thought, if Hamazon clutches this out, which he's getting very solid damage on the beds, hits them all, just has to not look at an Enderman or die, and he will clutch this out. We are seeing the 2-0 that I predicted, not in the fashion that I predicted by any means.